Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the April Full Council meeting. Before we get started, let's go through the housekeeping. There are no planned fire alarms. If the alarm should sound, please exit the building using the nearest available fire exit. Once leaving the building, please make your way to the muster point, which is located by the staff car park and is identified by a green sign positioned in the shrub bed, which at this time of year you can see. Please make yourself known to a member of staff if on duty, and it may be recorded, this meeting. So this meeting may also be recorded and broadcast by the press and members of the public. Please see section 8 of the guidance for public participation, including recording and use of social media at meetings. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with the agenda. Item number 1. We have apologies for absence, please.
Yeah, Councillors Mark, Clark and Christian.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Item 2, declarations of interest. A will be to note any declaration of interest made by a member in connection with an agenda item, and members to specify the nature of the interest. Okay, so take that as no. Item B, to receive any written requests for dispensations and to grant any requests for dispensation as appropriate. Have we received any?
No.
Thank you. Item 3 is co-option. Okay, as you're aware, Digdon Purley is missing a councillor to join Councillor Steph Osborne on the parish council representing it, and we have had, we had 2 people put themselves forward and 1 person has withdrawn. So we have 1 member the public who's put themselves forward as a candidate. We will welcome that individual to speak for a minute, and then we will have a vote to confirm if we wish to co-opt that individual. We're very grateful for Ms Newsmith for coming here and putting herself forward and wishing to join the council. So it's fantastic. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and speak for your lot of time, far away.
Hello everybody, my name is Ashley Macmillan, for those who don't know me. You should have all received my written email and application for the co-option. I am extremely passionate about our local area, and as you will see in my notes in the email, I have been involved in quite a lot of projects within the area and lived here my whole life, and I'm just extremely very passionate, and I would be delighted to join the parish council. And if anybody has any questions, please just let me know.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to does anyone have any questions to ask Ashley? Okay, so now, although we just have 1 person putting themselves forward for the vacancy, we do have to vote for a co-opter on the council, and that will be a vote by hands up. So, can I have all those in favour of adopting Ashley Macmillan to the council? All those in favour? Any against? And any abstentions? So I can confirm Ashley Macmillan, now Councillor Macmillan, and welcome you to the parish council. We are now a baker's dozen at last. So if you'd like to sign your declaration now, and then if you wish, you can sit and join in on the meeting.
Ashley,
okay?
Just give us 30 seconds.
Councillors, talk within yourselves.
30 seconds.
You know, was that awful news that was adopted? Yeah. Oh, it's something.
It's 24.
Oh, what a lovely day. Remember that one? Yeah.
Thank you ever so much, and welcome to the council. Do you know what? No questions is enough question. If you want to contribute to any discussion or just listen in, it's totally up to you. As we said, there might be some interesting issues on the agenda, and obviously there's an opportunity, particularly item 10, which is questions to fellow councillors, so your county and district colleagues. So I might explain each agenda item in a bit more detail, but particularly for Ashley this evening, so I do apologise. Councillor Cullen.
This may seem a bit backwards, but you know, when Ashley's a member of the council, we've always done declarations of interest, so it's fair to ask, has she got a declaration of interest? Whether she's a member of the council.
That's very true. Good point. Is there anything on the agenda that you have a declaration of interest in?
I don't think she's had time to read
Yeah,
it. She's only had 20 minutes.
I don't think so. There is particularly.
No,
I think if anything comes to light throughout.
Before we do start, just a reminder, can I just start from Councillor Harrison onwards, just so Ashley knows which wards we represent, please? So, Councillor Harrison.
Hyde East.
Thank you. Naveed.
Hyde West.
Just go on the parish for the moment. Hyde West. Dibden.
Hyde West.
Outside.
Ibden. Oxash.
Very good. So there you go. And Councillor Christian represents Langdown, and Councillor Mark Clark represents Furnesdown. They both have one councillor each. They've given their apologies for this evening. Okay? We're now going to move on to item number 4, which is the community safety update. So sometimes we invite the police to come. Occasionally they come, but obviously they are quite busy, so they've not attended or contacted us one way or another, have they?
Not for tonight.
Not for tonight. No. So we then go to item B, which is the ACSO's update, which you'll appreciate is slightly shorter this month because we haven't had a bi-monthly meeting. We had a meeting only 4 weeks prior. So, is there anything on the ACSO and maintenance teams report that any councillors wish to ask questions on? No, thank you. I would add there's a couple of issues I've raised within the last few days, and they responded exceptionally quickly. One was regarding the allotments. Councillor Malcolm Wade.
Yeah, I just want to pay tribute to our ICSOs because there have been some community safety issues that they have attended or are brought to their attention, attended, and they've done an excellent job.
I agree, and there's something today I raised with them to do with one of our local schools, and they responded exceptionally quickly. So could you pass on our thanks, please? Thank you. Okay, we now move on to item 5, which is the minutes of the previous meeting held last month. So, this was 27th of March 2024. I'm going to go through page by page. If any councillors have any challenges or queries, if you could please let me know. Okay? Are we all ready? So, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. And page 5. Do you all agree there are two reflections of the March meeting? Yeah. May I have a proposer and a second? And the seconder? All those in favour? Anyone against? And any abstentions? Not to worry. Thank you, Naveed. We now move on to item 6, which is Chairman's announcements. Alright, so here I'll be as brief as I can. On the 6th of June, Hyde and Dibden will be commemorating the 80th anniversary of D-Day. A programme of activities and events has been organised to mark the occasion, including a town crier at 8 a.m. in Hyde Centre, poems at local schools, talks from local historian Mark Highway and Sarah Marsden, a showing of The Longest Day at the Parish Hall, Goodnight Sweethearts, singing troupe and an international tribute and beacon lighting. Councillor Dowd has led the organisation of this event and has worked with fellow stakeholders to help Highland and pay tribute to this important date. National Fish and Chip Day has also been moved to the same date, and many local fish and chip shops, cafes and restaurants are taking part in this event. So we do hope our local community comes together to make it a day to remember. On the 16th of April this month, Hyde Cinema was busy with residents watching Anthony Hopkins' film One Life, and next month, Wonka will be in the show in May, starring Timothy Chalamet. It is going to be a popular film. I would encourage you all to promote it as councillors. Tickets will be available from pedals and on the door at both 2:30 and 7:30. The Parish Council's annual Community Spirit and Environmental Awards are open for nominations for local heroes from our community. Please can I encourage all councillors and residents to promote the awards and indeed nominate any deserving individuals who have given so much to our parish. Information is on the Parish Council website and social media on how to nominate and awards. Hyde in blue. Entries are now open for business and traders in Hyde to help brighten up the village. There are 3 categories: best floral shop window, best hanging basket and best planter. There are prizes for the winners and entries need to be received by Sunday the 23rd of June. Details can be found on the Parish Council Facebook page and website, and thank you to Hyde Live for working with the Parish Council on this initiative. Beaulieu Road. Hampshire County Council's Highways Officer has been in contact with the parish to advise that for 5 nights from the 13th, the proposed resurfacing works in Beaulieu Road DP, those will be undertaken from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. and letters to be sent to residents and businesses. They will be visited by county officers this week, and we understand that Waterman's Lane will be open later this week as well, ahead of works being undertaken on North Road. And lastly, just for information, there are some talks which the Watercan Group have made me aware of. Surfers Against Sewage are delivering a talk at Hyde Library on Monday, the 29th at 7 p.m. And in May, there's a talk at St Andrew's Church titled Hydrogen Be the Key to Net Zero for Electricity Generation, and that will be held on the 9th of May. These form part of the programme of environmental-based talks being delivered around the parish in the coming months. Thank you. We now move on to reports by county and district members. There are 2 council members. There's the South Waterside, which is the Thursdown area that speaks into our parish, and that is Councillor McAvoy. Have we had a report from Councillor McAvoy? Okay, so we move on to Dibden and Hyde, which is Councillor Malcolm Wade. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman. Since the last council meeting in April, Hampshire County Council have been gearing up to meeting the reductions the current financial position puts it in. Firstly, it is marketed 3 of its sites in Winchester for sale: 3 Minister's House on the High Street, 4 Chimneys Family Centre near Andover Road, and property on the County Council's Monmouth Way site near Romsey Road. These buildings will close to staff later this year, and searches run from these sites will be relocated to other County Council buildings in Winchester. Many of the people working in the County Council offices spend a significant proportion of their time working directly in the community with people who need them, and delivering local services such as social care to vulnerable children and adults, enabled by technology. More staff are also working remotely, enabled by technology. These changes have made it possible to accommodate the same number of staff in fewer buildings, providing opportunities to make savings on running costs. Even more significant, the Chief Executive, Karen Williamson, and the corporate management team have, apart from recruiting the Director of Adult Services, Health and Care to replace Graham Allen, who is retiring this summer, decided to hold open current and future Deputy Chief Officer vacancies across the organisation until we have a better understanding how operating a legal minimum service level basis impacts across the organisation. It will affect the 3 positions being covered by temporary or interim appointments, a future review of senior leadership structure at the level as Hampshire County Council works towards legal minimum service level continues. The legal minimum service level is of great concern not only to members like myself who oppose the cuts in public services, but to the elderly, the sick and the young who need the services Hampshire has provided. The next, on a different topic, the next phase of work due to be undertaken as part of the Transforming Cities Fund, Rushington Roundabout and Marchwood Bypass scheme will include a safety improvements to Rushington Roundabout funded by the Department for Transport, Safer Roadside, comprising levelling the northern side of the carriageway and widening the realignment of the northern footway. The works will be undertaken using a lane closure on Spicer Store, Rushington Roundabout, and top and bike that starts on the 22nd of April, lasting 10 weeks, with night closures towards the end of the undertaking, lining the works. Finally, as a result of pressure brought to bear from myself, at the County Council, I'll put more labour on the works in Dibden Purley to get them finished as quick as possible, hopefully by the end of May. In addition, Councillor Osborne and myself visited the shops in Dibden Purley to see how they were doing, and like us, they await the end of the business and are returning back to normal. One positive idea that came out of this was to try and organise a Dibden Purley Village Centre relaunch event once the roadworks are gone and the weather is better. If this goes ahead, hopefully Parish Councils can support this in some way.
Thank you, Councillor Malcolm Wade. We're now going to move on to District Council reports. We'll go alphabetically. Councillor Clark isn't here, but we'll then start with Councillor Cullen, who's Hyde South.
I attended the full council meeting and I asked a question related to the Freeport and how it's going to legally meet its obligations with the National Park. I received a political answer.
Is there anything else to add, Councillor Cullen?
No.
So High South includes Langdown, Butts Ash, and Fairsdown in their district ward. We now move on to one of the High Central councillors, Councillor Philip Dowd.
Nothing to report this time of any note.
Thank you. Just to let you know, High Central is the village centre of Hollybank Stainston. Councillor Osborne, Ditton and Furley, you're next.
As Malcolm said, we attended on the morning and went around every single shop and spoke to each shopkeeper at length, which I think they appreciated. And as we say, we were hoping that you would have an opening day, so I'm looking at council to join us for another clean-up before it. We had some reports on the last minute about the ditch in Oak Road, which they attempted to do some safety things too, but the kind of bollards they stuck in the ditch fell over in the line, just floating in the water. So today they actually did fill it in with hardcore and then compound it down, which doesn't look great, but hopefully it will be an improvement to people driving into the ditch. DP bus shelter, I think we all got complaints about the bus shelter there. It's got no sides and a very uncomfortable steel girder to sit on, which I don't think many people would fit on. So we've written to the officers and they've now passed on our comments to the relevant people to sort that as well. Hopefully something might be done. Meet the Council was very well attended at the beginning of April, and I think 11 people came, so it was only myself and Councillor Malcolm Way, and we did quite a good job of keeping them all happy by me taking over the cab probably. But yeah, it was good, lots of various queries from people. I've attended a meeting for the Woodside Arts Festival, and Dipping Hurry hopefully will be on the 14th of September, although I think they're finding everything's clashing with something else. But hopefully that might be in the church grounds, near the car park again, and we hope to attract some good acts. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Osborne. Now your ward partner, Councillor Malcolm Waite.
What, me?
Yeah.
First of all, I forgot to mention earlier, my congratulations to Councillor Newty there, and on the co-option, I'm sure you'll have great value to the council. Since our last parish meeting, our NFDC has cancelled the April planning meeting, but we have had a cabinet council meeting. In the cabinet meeting, there's a new corporate plan, a climate change, supplementary planning document, and the allocation of SIL money. Got back to that. The strategic risk register and solar free port to join the legacy New Forest. This latter item, despite its grandiose title covering a wide range of issues in was a very top level and covered the aspirations of the New Forest district without the in-depth detail on how this will be achieved. So many questions on how New Forest residents, particularly those on the water side, will benefit remain. As regards to SIL funding, Highbury Parish Council successfully achieved a grant of £6,290 for the speed indicator policy, people know that. However, the Dibden Park was not successful this time. I was very unhappy about this and had two high-level meetings with NFDC officers who advised me the project is not dead in the water and they wanted to work with parish council to get the project through. The problem was the developer who owned the land between the existing parish council land and the land from the school did not transfer to NFDC as promised due to a change in staff and development officer, who then passed it on to the parish council. There was also concern about the actual plan of the path, which I advised them could not be confirmed until the funding to do that work. That's right. So, following was agreed. New Forest District Council and Chase developers to ensure the land is transferred ASAP to them and then passed to the parish council. New Forest District Council is allocated £10,000 from the Habitat Mitigation Project funding, and in the NFD's New Forest District Council officers have worked with Parish Council to design a path ready for the SIL funding round later this year. Then, provided the land is transferred, a revised path will then have required criteria to get the funding. In the council meeting, there was a response to the Liberal Democrat motion to right to government and local government and local government and Hampshire kept that's the money. In the parish council meeting, there was a response to the Liberal Democrat motion to right to government about local government funding and Hampshire County Council against the closure of the household recycling centres at Marchwood and Summerley. For once, the council spoke with one voice, and we agreed to write to the government with the funding issue for local government, particularly facing under two tiers, tier 2 system councils Hampshire. In addition, the Forest District Council's corporate response did not support the closure of the two Hampshire waste recycling centres and detailed the extra issues that would raise for our district in regards to collective and extra cost. In addition to that, I have asked the leader of the council and the chief executive to write to all the county councils who represent the New Forest, which is 10 of us, requesting that this group writes to the lead member, Councillor Nick
Adams-King.
Thank you, Adams-King, explaining why we do not want those recycling centres closed and to support not closing them. And to see if that small pressure group can make it. Let's see if you're right first, I suppose. Anyway, absolutely will. What difference this will make, we can only hope, but if it helps make Hampshire County change its mind, then it's all worthwhile. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Malcolm Ways. And I understand you've had a letter that you've sent to residents to update them on the path as well.
Yeah, right. We
Just support from councillors.
distributed a letter advising all local residents over about 150, no, more than that, but nearly something to around 200 properties around the Beechwood, with the assistance, by the way, of the town and Vicky, and Sandra. We did it to Beechwood Estate, all the close, Redwood Close, what's the one? Thank you, Oaken Brown. We did Sylvans, and we did the other one.
Thank you, Malcolm. No, well done. Thank you, councillors, all of you who helped with that. Thank you ever so much. We now move on to my district report. I'm also a High Central District Councillor. The good thing about following Malcolm is I think I've now edited some of mine, so it's a bit shorter, so you'll be happy. So I won't refer. I also attended full council on April the 8th and spoke with regards to the issues regards to the closures of Marchwood Summer Recycling Centre. I didn't comment on the meeting on the tips because others spoke better. However, I did also raise the points about the other issues in the consultation, particularly around crossing patrols, highways maintenance, and indeed grants to organisations such as Supported Transport. These were areas I felt the council could speak stronger on, and I'll come to that point later on. These are all valued by our communities. The council did also discuss and vote on its corporate plan with an amendment I supported, including a measurement on NFDC's total emissions to ensure the council measures its own carbon emissions and plans to reduce its footprint. I spoke about my scepticism, like Councillor Malcolm Ways, on the prioritisation of the Freeport in the prosperity section of the plan, and I did note that my feedback from resources and transformation was at least highlighted. I feel we need to see the benefits of the local area and our residents and understand any impacts on the environment and local economy. I would add that in the 1.8 million allocated SIL funds on local projects, Knowden School was allocated over 22k for a cycle shelter, Orchard Infants 5,900 for scooter and bike parking, and indeed, as a local ward member and parish chair, I wrote in support of all 4 bids, including SIDS and Beechwood Path. The day after the last council meeting, I attended Resources and Transformation panel, and that's where the panel discussed the motion to oppose recycling centres. And again, there were interesting discussions about charging users, reducing hours, and the officers and leaders' comments in the report were surprisingly strong on keeping the centres open, which was fully supported by the committee. Again, the concerns raised also highlighted about how alternative provision would be out of our control, such as local residents having to use the next nearest centre, which could in theory be in Southampton and under a different council's or different authorities' ownership. I also challenged the council where they said they didn't have a view, arguing they should, on the matters I previously mentioned, on crossing patrols and highway maintenance, and indeed the cuts of support grants as well. I felt NFDC should have a stronger say on these matters, and I do believe they did. We also discussed the corporate plan there as well. There's not a great response from residents, which is not a surprise, and I did mention, as the full council, my concerns over the Freeport as the main driver for local economy prosperity. We do have a council's briefing next week on the Freeport. I did challenge the council on their housing target of 600 affordable homes, which they are currently not forecast to meet. The portfolio holders are arguing this target is ambitious, as if to imply that they are achieving their aims. The figure currently says otherwise. Their schedules are only hit about 453, so it's 75% of that, so it doesn't bear scrutiny. The leader did respond saying that challenges such as COVID, war in Ukraine and costs have proved difficult, but as I say, they've got a target they've put in the plan now and we expect them to meet it. I did ask for performance measures related to the council's carbon emissions as well. There was also further discussion on future New Forest projects and the process reviews for staff engagement. They're looking for improving customer journeys and efficiencies and how we triage queries from residents, as well as aligning the IT strategy. I highlighted that there was a lack of detail for proper scrutiny and there was no real explanation on what processes were changing or anything being reviewed or any actual explanation of the customer impact. I did query where the engagement with parish and town councils and councillors will be and where any benefits will come from for proper scrutiny. There was further customer insight data as well presented to us. For example, although the council wants to focus on digital by design, they did a huge survey and 9% said they don't have access to a computer in the district. 10% weren't comfortable going online, and only 47% could not action online what they wanted to do on the NFDC site. So that highlighted the benefit and importance of town and parish council offices. And I did raise that it's important to filter queries to relevant bodies. As our officers know, they probably get asked about potholes and wheelie bins when it goes to higher councils. And having a shared customer database as well, where departments can interact together so they don't have to tell 5 people the same thing. Lastly, no mow May. NFDC will be leaving the grass to grow longer in certain open spaces that they look after in May, as some areas are left to grow, pollinators can have more nectar, flowers can grow and wildlife can benefit. Where long grass may obscure visibility for road users, NFDC will still continue to cut in this area as we raised by councillors last year. Thank you. And we now move on to reports from members from outside bodies. So these are local groups that they're assigned to the parish council representatives, like Handy Trust, like Age Concern. Any councillors? Oh, Sandra, that was early, and we haven't spoken yet, so you go first. I've got Philip up. Does anyone else wish to speak on outside bodies? No? Councillor Delamere, the floor is yours.
Thank you. As a member of trustee for the Waterside Community Fund, formerly Institute of Allotments, I yesterday visited the Honeypot site. We'd made a donation towards it. It's a wonderful respite centre for young carers from age 5 to 12, if you could believe it. And it's an absolutely fantastic place, and Councillor Osborne actually put me onto it a few years ago. And if anybody gets a chance to go there, I recommend it, because it really is a wonderful place. And it's just so sad that children are being carers and missing out on all sorts of things. And yeah, I'm sorry. I did this off the top of my head, but yeah, I just encourage everybody to find out more.
Well, we'll visit.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll tell you, I'm very good off the top of your head, as you can tell. I can't do it much off the top of my head, so but you're right. They've done a huge amount in our community, and I know that they're very good at fundraising this as well. Thank you. Councillor Dowd, you're next in line.
Thank you. My first one is the D-Day preparations. I won't go through the details, that's already happened earlier this meeting. I'd like to thank the councillors, officers, representatives of our schools, businesses, community groups and individual contributors for all the work so far in putting together what I think is set to be a great day and a tribute to an extraordinary feat in our history. We have a final in-person briefing meeting on the 16th of May in the council chamber. The Waterside Climate Action Network, again, a lot's been said about this already, so I would encourage people to check out the website for upcoming talks and events. We've got some fascinating experts lined up to inform and to challenge us. The tourism group, which meets monthly, we've got a number of events happening in the village. We've got Pirate Day, which is set for the 27th of July, which is also the Hythe Ferry Football Day. Work on the ferry garden is making progress. Work on signs for the village centre is still ongoing. Hythe in Bloom has already been mentioned. Christmas lights plans are progressing, you might be curious to know at this time of year. Hythe Marina is having its own D-Day event with food, entertainment and a beacon. And I would encourage councillors to share the posters online that are going up at the two D-Day events. We've also got posters circulating currently. Councillors Osborne and Dunmer have been circulating the National Fish and Chip Day posters, which is on the same day, 6th of June. We have the relaunch event at Dibden Perlow has already been mentioned, but I'd also like to mention the library, which is celebrating a double birthday. It's our library's 25th anniversary, but it's also the 60th anniversary of a library in Hythe. So do look out for information about that. That concludes my outside bodies report. Thank you.
Incredible work. Thank you ever so much for all your hard work as well on those outside bodies, Councillor Dowd, particularly on the D-Day work. Does anyone remember the previous library? 25 years ago, remember on the old the railway? I remember going there when I was young. Does anyone else have any other outside bodies reports they wish to discuss at this moment? Councillor Osborne.
Yeah, mine's basically detailed for Philip. Alright, so I won't do it again. Thank you.
Anyone else? Chris, Lee?
No.
Natalia? Okay, thank you ever so much. So that brings us to item 9, which is public forum. This is where we have 15 minutes for members of the public to have up to 3 minutes to ask a question to the council. It isn't an opportunity for a debate back and forth, but it is a question to the council. Item A is, are there any written questions from electors? Okay, so item B is for any electors to address the meetings. Anyone from the public wish to ask? Introduce yourself, sir. Mr. Although we know you well.
Alan Gray, local resident. With all the ongoing roadworks we're experiencing, which I know you've all been very vocal in trying to get it moved along, can I ask, do you get a sight of proposed contracts before they're signed, so you've got some input into it? And within the contracts, are there penalty clauses? And if there are, who gets the money? I'm thinking particularly if there's funds coming in, like the shopkeepers and traders up that didn't need more finance.
Thank you. I will come to the county council to answer that question because it's a highways issue. Obviously there are separate roadworks. We had obviously a lot of utilities companies, separate utilities companies working on the roads, and that's different to obviously any contracted highways maintenance work and funded projects. Councillor Matthews.
Okay, well, Dibden Perlow will take that first. Dibden Perlow is a government-funded project being conducted by the County Council. It's probably, as I've said before, the worst highway project I've come across in my experience as a councillor, badly planned, poorly executed. And they quote, unquote, yes, we made some mistakes with this, but we'll learn from that. I requested in a question to the lead member in the County Council, will they give any compensation to traders in Dibden Perlow, and the answer was no. Because apparently you don't give compensation when you're doing roadworks. However, they can all apply, they don't really do it. The problem with Hythe Dibden at the moment is we've been beset by Giganet, Virgin Media, in addition to these roadworks, and now have been churning up the verges, the paths and the highways willy-nilly all over the place. Now, the answer to your question about contractors, usually by statute, I think it is, utility companies can dig up the highway whenever they want, as long as they want, etc., as long as there's no public safety issue. And what they do is they have to apply to the County Council for a licence. And the licence that they apply for basically is that. It then goes on something called One Stop Network. But well, anyone can look at it, anybody in this room can look at it, anyone in the public can look at it. And you look at it, and you draw up a map, draw that fire vision, find out where you live in or what road you're driving, look at it, and every road work, whether it's Hampshire County Council, Giganet, Virgin Media, Gatsby, or anyone, is there. Click on it, and it tells you how long it's going to be, what they're going to do, and obviously, oh, you've got traffic lights, etc., etc. Now, once these utility companies have finished their work, they can be inspected by Hampshire County Council if we believe they have not returned the highway pavement to verge to its natural pre-work state. And if that is the case, they have to pay to get it done. However, the county council does not inspect everyone after everyone's done it. It usually takes somebody like me to go and complain, and they have to go down and look at it, or residents complain. So the answer to your question is no, they don't get to see the contract or anything like that, but they have to apply for a licence. And I don't know every detail they have to put down to the licence, but my understanding is it's always granted unless there is a public safety issue, which obviously it wouldn't be. And then off they go, and they can do what they like. It's a central government thing, not a local government for this.
And are there penalty clauses? No? Do you know if there's normally penalty?
No, there are. The only penalty is if they don't return the highway to its pre-work state, and they have to go and come back and fix it.
Okay.
Or they get charged for it if Hampshire does it. And by pre-work state, just to be clear, it doesn't mean a perfectly smooth area. It means that the pavement is flat. So you can still have a big black line down the middle of the tarmac that's different. But that is just the way it is. It's not the council's fault. It is actually.
Thank you. Does that answer your questions today?
Not fully, Chair.
It's not debate. It's a quick follow-up question.
What I'm thinking of, if we've got no input on how long things are going to take, or if there's a penalty clause employed, they could say, oh, we're going to do this road, we do it for a year. Where if they've got a penalty clause, you get it done in 3 weeks or else. Can you not get involved?
You can't, no, not as a parish, as a district council, and you're probably preaching to converting on that one, but the reality is they're not going to prioritise that at the moment. And I know there are issues all over the county with regards to roadworks, but the Highways Authority can probably not do as much as people would suggest. Is that fair enough?
Yeah. It wouldn't be if there's some light we're going to block a road for a year. Also, we can't prevent people getting in and out of their property.
Thank you, Malcolm. Councillor Dowd did put his hand up. Sorry.
Yes, I'll just add to what's been said. I think all councillors have had quite a lot of concerns about this. My recommendation that I give to people who contact me is, as well as contacting Councillor Wade, writing to our MP Julian Lewis with specific concerns, because there are also concerns about health and safety, where undocumented wires and pipes are being broken through the works. So I think it's worth contacting the MP as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so any other questions from the gallery? Okay, thank you ever so much, and thank you very much, Mr. Fairhead. We now move on to item 10, which is questions to the councillors, to take brief questions from other councillors. So this is for anyone to challenge the district and parish councillors and outside bodies, or is the chairman aware of questions? So does anyone have any questions? Okay, I have a question for the county councillor. You sort of hinted on this earlier. When will county councillors be made aware of the result of the Future Services consultation, which closed on the 31st of March, and any response to it or actions that may or may not occur if they decide not to go along with the highly likely cuts that are going to be?
The answer to that question, Fred, is actually the consultation document itself. The results of the consultation and the decisions based on the consultation, let me put it that way, are going to go to the standing select committees in June of 2024. Yes.
You know what committee thinks you can go to back this?
I expect that you might know that, I put money on it, that the county council is going to do what it wants to do regardless of what the concentration says. Because that's how local government concentrations work. It's a tick box operation. Except this council, because we pay attention to what it says.
You know what committee thinks, you have an opportunity to argue. Thank you. I just would ask, is the chairman aware, to myself, is the chairman aware that the community safety officer, is the ACSO, have emailed around all parish councillors asking them to have proposals for roads where they would like to see the SID being used, and they'd like the road and the lamppost marker number. So it's not their job to go around and look at all the lampposts, it's your job to go and share that information, and obviously which way around the camera wishes to go. You would have all received an email yesterday from Mike, so if you could all share that information, you have about 3.5 week deadline, and that's really useful. We've asked for the SID, we've got funding for the SID, you need to use it. So we all have roads in our wards where they're speeding, and frankly we need to have it here, so please go and look at those roads and those lampposts and share that information with Mike and Charlie. Malcolm.
Can the chairman ask the officers, what do we do if, when we went out to look for a lamppost on a road we suggested, there wasn't a lamppost? What happens about the SID on the road and the lamppost?
We're not allowed to put them on private property posts. If a post is needed there, we have to apply to whether it's a suitable location to put a post in. But the other thing to say is that we have not allocated any budget funding for installation of posts. So in other words, we're looking at lamp columns. That's what. Yeah, the SID device doesn't come with a post, no.
That's the question.
Well, it doesn't work.
And then we're thinking about size away.
The size away, yeah.
Thank you, Malcolm. Okay, so any other questions to councillors, from councillors? I'll just try to just manage expectations. Our new councillor, it's not always this quick. We're on to the last item of the agenda, it's only been 42 minutes, that's never that quick, is it? No. So we're now on to item 11, which is the finance breakdown for 2023-2024. There are 7 separate items here, and some we will need to vote on. Item A is to receive the bank reconciliation for March 2024. Would you like us to vote on this, Sue?
Yes, please. Yeah, receive it.
Okay, so can I have a proposer to receive this and a seconder? Malcolm, thank you. So all those in favour of receiving the bank reconciliation, please raise your hands. Anyone against? And any abstentions? Thank you. We now move on to item B, which is to approve the accounts for payment for March 2024. Have you all had an opportunity to look at them?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions at all? No? Okay. So to accept them, can I have an approver, please? Councillor Cullen. Seconder, please. Councillor Jones. All those in favour of accepting the March 2024 accounts? Any against? Any abstentions? Okay, so that is A and B done. We now move on to item C, external audit for the financial year 2023-2024, which is to confirm that there are no conflicts of interest between this parish council, the chairman, the clerk, or indeed BDO LLP, who are the company undertaking the external audit. Is there anything you wish to add, Sue?
No, this one and the next one are basically, or rather E, are just things that the external auditor has come up with that we have to vote on as an extra thing this year.
Okay. Do I have to, am I allowed to vote this then, my vote next? Can I vote this?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So, as I said, we're not aware of any conflicts of interest, and there's nothing to be made aware of, is there? Thank you. So all those in favour of confirming there are no conflicts of interest between the parish, the chair, the clerk, with the external auditor, may I have a first and seconder, please? Thank you. All those in favour? Anyone against? And any abstentions? Thank you. Item D, which is to agree that the notice period for the exercise of public rights will be announced on the 31st of May, with inspection period commencing the 3rd of June, ending on the 12th of July. This is where members of the public, our electorate, can ask to see copies of our financial accounts. It's standard protocol for parish and town councils. We've done it every year, and our fellow councils do. But we have to agree the period and confirm it as a council. Okay? Is there anything that I've missed on that?
Yeah, we don't have much choice really. It has to be.
It's a standard protocol. It's standard law, and as I say, some people may show interest and have some questions from it, and that is their right as a member of the electorate. So may I have a proposal?
Happy to propose.
Thank you, Councillor Dowd. A seconder? Thank you, Councillor Joyce. All those in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Thank you. So the notice period has been agreed for the public right of access, 31st of May. E. To note and ratify that the current internal auditor, Lighter Touch, is performing the final of his 3-year internal account audit agreement to this council shortly. This council will thus be re-tendering for the next 3-year internal audit agreement in autumn of this year. Vote for.
Yeah, the first part of that is that, again, this is another thing which the external auditor has insisted that the council votes on, to confirm that the internal auditor has been appointed to undertake the audit.
Okay, I just said it.
Sorry?
Sure.
It's the obvious on that. You're stating the obvious, really. You know, and then also just to say that this auditor who does do it for us, he's at the end of his 3 years now. He's done a fantastic job.
I know when decided to start time up in the trail, I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's very good.
That's right. Can I have a proposal for E, please? Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Seconder? How dare you? We have something different. All those in favour of to note and ratify the current internal auditor? All those against? And any abstentions? No? Perfect. Item F, which is to note that the minutes of the January 2024 meeting, which related to our budget, contains a typing error. The banding increase should have read 42p, not 45p a week increase, which is maybe there to us. And that's the noting. Okay? We all happy with that? Is there any questions?
Yeah, good one.
Okay, moving on. We now move on to item G. Now this is where you've got your own bonus bit from the agenda. It was to agree a 10,000 environmental funds to the parish school budget, it's a posh way of saying transfer, in the financial year 24 to 2025 budget from the Grove refurbishment. So it's moving from the Grove refurbishment EMR to the parish refurb EMR budget, and it's to replace 2 sets of French doors and side glass panels. Has anyone had an opportunity to read a very good report on this and guidance given by officers?
Got a question?
Yeah, Councillor Malcolm.
I've got an issue with buying a 10k. What I wanted to ask is, have we exhausted every potential option for funding grants from the various organisations out? I'm looking not necessarily for this specific thing, but for some of the building work that we need to do and refurbish. And I know we have applied for some, but I wonder if there's any others available that we can look at. And if we're not sure of that, is it something we could get some guidance and help from in the future? Because, you know, we are strapped for cash. And if we can get some funds and grants from some other organisations to help us do some of this refurbishment, it's a good thing.
Just a quick answer to that. In relation to this agenda item, this agenda item is what's under discussion there, and just responding to that is that we did apply for grants for this, and they were refused. One from Hampshire County Council and one from NFTC. So, you know, we did actually try, and we commissioned an environmental report to supply the factual data to support those grants as well. We were still refused.
Which one of this is anyone else if you try to go forward? But yeah, I think we buy a 10k.
The only other thing I would say is that yes, there are grants out there, but you find you do need to tick some jargon boxes to actually get the grants. They need to be something specific relating to climate or the latest buzzword, you know, for example. Just replacement when things are worn out and old doesn't tend to attract grants. But yeah, there are grants out there, and it's a very, very long process.
You have to mention that 15k grant from NFTC we have to bend over backwards for a very small amount. These doors are 40 years old. They are basically the most crucial building for us as a council. It's our revenue generator for Parish Council, as well as, you know, keeping the heating and helping to protect energy. It's also a security concern as well, because there has been examples of the door being left ajar. It will include the static to the building, and obviously it's the 2023 IBEX report, as you mentioned, does require about lowering the come from the council, and this door, which the replacement will hopefully contribute to supporting. But it's also about security of the building, which is used by many of our residents and families, and it's our key revenue generating town. Does any other councillor have any comments before we go to a vote?
Open shut this week.
Does any councillor have any non-terrible jokes before we go to the vote? Okay, so can I have a proposer, please?
Already.
Okay, Councillor Malcolm Way's proposed, which is to agree the 10,000 million funds to the parish's budget in financial year 24-25 from the Grove refurbishment budget. Councillor Jones a second. All those in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? And that brings to a close, inside now, which is very unlikely, the council meeting minutes, first meeting, and indeed the final meeting of this first year of the council. Thank you ever so much for all of your support. We've done an incredible job on the first year. Our next meeting will be our annual general meeting as well. So I look forward to seeing you next month. And look, it's still live. Thank you.
Yeah.